Lewis Hart for Boxing Social, delighted.
Pronounce the H.
Say again?
What's your name?
Lewis Hart. Lewis Hart. For Boxing Social, delighted for the first time. It's been a while. Wally Downes. Been working to get this interview for a long time, so finally here to get it, and no better location to get it. We're here at the Shard in London, just finished a nice lunch to kick off fight week for Callum Simpson against Zak Chelli. Happy to be here and enjoyed that lunch.
Yeah, really good. I always look forward to the shows that go to a new place. I love a football stadium show. They're expensive, they're a big risk, but I think they're great to do. I think they look really good for the broadcaster. I think it's a really good fight, and I hope it gets a fair bit of attention, because with the Euros and Gareth Southgate leaving, I think boxing took a big sort of, just got pushed into the shadows. We've got the Olympics now as well. Thankfully, Chisora, Joyce, and that whole card, top to bottom, has thrown the sport back in the spotlight where it deserves to be, and hopefully this Saturday carries on that.
Is it always an interesting dynamic when you've got the champion, who's Zak Chelli, and we obviously saw it with Bilham Smith as well, when he fought Riakporhe, Okoli when he fought Bilham Smith. When you've got the champion almost going to like an event or almost being like the B-side in a fight, where let's be honest, Saturday's all made for Callum Simpson, with it being at Oakwell. When you have dynamics like that, it's always interesting where you see the champion having to, I guess, succumb to that.
Yeah, I mean, it was even strange on Saturday, because I think Joyce came in second, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Like Richard Riakporhe a few months ago, Callum is the Sky guy. He is the backed man. I'm not sure I'd make him the favourite. I definitely had Chris Bilham Smith winning that fight before it started, and I was not surprised in any stretch that he did. And I think Zak Chelli, without discrediting anything Callum's done or Callum's team, the calibre of opponent that he has been in with and beaten, and even when he's lost, done well against, he should be the heavy favourite. So going away, you get more money, you don't have to worry about selling tickets too much. He should look at that Chris Bilham Smith performance. Riakporhe, his first big show on his shoulders in front of a football crowd, and Richard Riakporhe and his corner and his team couldn't handle it. If I was Zak Chelli and Barry O'Connell from State of Mind, I would look back on that and say that is, in terms of sort of a business perspective, not in the way you should box, but that is the blueprint. I noticed that Bilham Smith and his team were cleverly saying or reminding Riakporhe about the enormity of the event. What was it, 100 years for Crystal Palace? That's a lot of pressure. And if I was Zak Chelli and Barry, and I'm sure they don't need my advice, I would use the next few days to remind Callum. I just had a great chat with him, and it's wonderful. He talks about how silly it is when people talk about, you're under pressure. Because he said, pressure is struggling to feed your family, being a brain surgeon, being made redundant, and that's pressure. He's having a time of his life. He was on small hall shows. So in context, it's not real pressure, but in sporting context, in terms of boxing, Zak Chelli can use Callum's position to his advantage and put some pressure on him, because it's a tough thing to deal with. Walking out open air stadium, for the first time. Even Bilham Smith, when he won there at Bournemouth, said, it hits you.
Absolutely, definitely. And I guess just moving on and looking back on the weekend's events, Derek Chisora rolling back the years, you could say, with a performance against Joe Joyce, getting a unanimous decision victory. I guess now it's been a few days, had time to, I guess, digest and settle and sort of look at that performance. What did you make of everything that went into Saturday night? I guess not even just the main event, but the undercard as well, which had some good fights. Genuinely
one of my favourite cards for ages. Derek's nephew Jermaine boxed.
I was going to say a great story about Sharif Lawal as well that I saw that you posted. It was amazing.
I'd spoken to him on Friday and got those quotes, and he told me, he's a St Pancras teammate of Sharif Lawal who died in May after a fight in Harrow. So we spoke a little bit about that, and he said to me that him and Sharif were so excited for him to make his debut. They talked about it loads. And he was at the fight when he passed away. Him and Derek went and met his mum and stuff. And he said that he would take he would take him into the ring with him, his advice and stuff. And then in the end, after he won, great little performance. Sometimes your debut performance 4-rounder against a journeyman, you're on the back foot, you're showing off. He tried to knock him out and he won every round. But afterwards, he got a QPR shirt out. Sharif was a big QPR fan. Because he said, out on it was the TNT in Queensbury YouTube. It will remind his family that he won't be forgotten. I managed to get it in the Sun that day. From that to Inder Bassi and Sean Noakes, brilliant English title fight, reminding people, that might be Sean and Inder's limit, and that there should never be a criticism of that. World titles and Saudi is wonderful, Saudi money. But for these boys, English titles, British titles, Southern area or area titles are fantastic. And having Inder Bassi bringing that huge Sikh community, I think I saw today he sold 400 tickets. Boxing is fighting against every other major sport. We put it on at silly o'clock at night, tucked away on pay-per-view. If we can get any new community in buying tickets and singing, it's fantastic. And then, the main event, was like sensational spectacle, and so happy for Derek. Unless Joe Joyce makes changes to how he boxes, I have no appetite to keep watching that again, because Derek is 40 years old, very tired, and he's retiring. He's got 2 fights left. If Derek can hit Joe that easily for 5 rounds, and he only stopped because of how tired he was, a 30-year-old heavyweight, a Fabio, I don't want to start naming names, but someone else will hurt Joe, and he's too nice a boy, too nice a man. Should have had a gold medal at the Olympics. I'm not calling for him to retire, or if he's not going to defend himself, I don't take any joy of that. And in 10 years' time, you and me be sitting around feeling guilty that we, sat there and watched. So I think, and Adam Morley, who manages Joe, and obviously you always have to scream and say that your guy's great and he's coming back. He did a great interview. I think it was with you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think it's the only good one you've done, isn't it?
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah.
And I thought it was really good. Adam said he's got to have a serious think and a look, because now he will be. Joe's not a great talker. He's never sold a fight. His ability can sell a fight. His Olympic silver sells a fight. But he doesn't trash talk. He'll never be a Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora can lose and be in a great fight because he sells fights. He has a persona and a character that lends itself well. That isn't Joe's nature. So he's in danger now of being a gatekeeper and a stepping stone. And for someone who gets hit that easily, you don't want to be that.
It's like, is it an awkward spot with someone like Chisora? Because for a long time people have been calling him to retire. But it's like he's got to win now, and I know he said he wants 2 more fights, but I think many people would have been happy to see him retire after yesterday, and would have been happy to see him retire. Let's say even for the Kubrat Pulev fight, the rematch. So does it put in a tough spot, because like when someone wins, you're naturally going to start matching them more. Look, you can put him. I know Spencer Oliver was talking about Deontay Wilder, other fights like that. Like, is it a tough spot because there's that retirement factor there, but it's like one when you kind of want to see it again?
Yeah, so I would have, I mean, when you saw the beating that Derek took from Fury in their 3rd fight, and then how sort of sluggish he was against Gerald Washington, more than happy for that Derek to give up. But Derek has always bobbed and weaved and tucked up quite well. Listen, Joe Joyce was in a brilliant fight of the year contender with Joseph Parker and knocked him out, and that was marvellous. And if that Joe Parker's about, but if he's not, it's just not defending himself that I struggle to watch. And Joe got sick of being called, the bloke with the chin, like nothing but a chin. He tried to tell you that he was he had more about him, and he keeps paying Ismail Salas to fly in and fly out. I haven't, when you watch it back, we go to adverts. I would love to know what Ismail Salas was saying to him in between the rounds, because if he isn't screaming at him, move your head, like, I don't know what he's getting paid to do. So yes, it is tough to say, I'm calling on someone to retire. I'm not calling on anyone to retire. I just personally won't enjoy watching Joe Joyce box anymore if he carries on boxing like that. And it's not new. Even in the fights, he was winning, wonderfully well. For the first 3 rounds, he was constantly getting punched in the head all the time. Zhang took away the indestructibility about him, and if yeah, I'm boring. If Derek can do that, no disrespect to Derek, imagine a Jared Anderson or someone like that now, or an informed Fabio Wardley, someone who really hurt him, and I don't want to see it.
But yeah, as I said, on a Chisora point of view, like, is it like, because people have said it's hard to watch him fight now? Like, is it like, how do you? How is that sort of aspect like you look at?
Because I think he's always trying to tuck up and defend himself.
Okay, sorry.
That's that, and also Chisora knows how to back into a corner, take some time off. Joe Joyce only walks forward. If you fight Derek Chisora, from the very first bell, he went and got on Joe's chest, took away his height and reach, and made it a hook war. I don't know why Joe Joyce didn't walk backwards, jab him, and use his range, use everything he's got. So that's another reason why Joe can't fight on a back foot. He's constantly going to walk into punishment. Whereas, mate, for a long time, and especially since Derek's had children and calmed down and talking about his personal life, and he's a caring away from us and work, fans probably will never know how much of a nice, decent fella he is. That makes me care a little bit more. Not that Joe isn't, but with Derek, even when he's been in wars, when he's been knocked out just a couple of times, I do feel like he does know how to defend. He's been around a long time. He's done the sport, for a long time, and even when he's in the trenches, he's usually ducking and slipping, whereas Joe Joyce is constantly just getting punched all the time. Just for me, that's the only reason why I would see a difference. Why I call for Joyce to stop rather than Derek. It's just because he's only got one way of getting hit all the time.
Definitely. Moving on, I did want to talk about September 21st with yourself, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. Big event that's happening on 21st September. Don't know if it was inspired by Earth, Wind and Fire, but it sounds good. Having conversations with people when it comes to looking at AJ post Ruiz, do you think that Dubois has a case for has the best chance out of anyone he's previously thought of, I guess, having that power to knock AJ out?
In terms of power and knocking AJ out,
has he got the best chance of that? It's a simple question. Has he got the best chance, do you think, since post Ruiz?
He'd be the hardest hitter that he's gone in with, but I think in terms of size and shape and style, he's something that AJ likes. AJ's always told us he hates fighting little blokes. I felt the Franklin fight wasn't great. And listen, he was battering Andy Ruiz until it all went wrong. But he hates little guys. He's 6'6". He's usually boxing big guys. He usually irons out big guys. It's when he goes in against the littler fella. So, I don't think he'll be too terrified of Daniel Dubois. I don't. I think he'll look at that as a winnable fight, and I think Daniel Dubois, as brilliant as his sort of resurgence has been since the Joyce loss, even against Hrgović, he got hit an awful lot. And this resurgent Anthony Joshua, who's got his new confidence with Ben Davison, if he lands one of the shots that Hrgović landed in the first 3-4 rounds, we'll see where Daniel is at the minute. And it's just a shame. I think AJ really lost, like coming away from Rob Kraken, who was a mentor, not just a coach. I think he had a real lost 2 years, really, where chopping coaches, and I appreciate he wanted to learn, and that's such a commendable thing, to not stick to the same place and going out and learning. And when it works, it's genius, isn't it, to go to different coaches? Lennox Lewis did it a fair bit. Tyson Fury's done it and changed, but I think he's those couple of years. I think it's shown. When he started saying, "I want to be a boxer fighter," and start dancing around on the back foot, someone around him, because Rob wasn't there, someone should have said to him, "AJ, you're 33," he would have been roughly at the time. That's not for you. Yeah. You started at 18. You're a brilliant knockout artist. That's what you do. And instead, Angel Fernandez tried, and then he put him into gut. It was a real lost couple of years. Someone around AJ should have, no one needs yes men in this game. Someone should have said, "No, Josh, you are the governor at knocking people out. You're a machine. Do that," because that's what he is now. Yeah. It just shows you those in between years. And don't get me wrong, I still think Usyk would have done what he did, but I think he might have, who knows, might have caught him, or he might have, given a better account of himself. So now this AJ is back. as much as I love Daniel Dubois, I think AJ should win.
Definitely. Wally, just want to say thank you for taking time to speak to me. Really good to catch up with you, mate. Yeah, enjoyed this. We have a lot of conversation. Oh, am I getting left hanging, mate? No. We have a lot of conversations about boxing, so it's good to finally get one on camera, mate. And yeah, I'm sure people should tune into your stuff, mate, because it is very good, mate. Appreciate it, man. Top man. Thank you.